Thanksgiving. It's so appropriate to do it the day before Thanksgiving, isn't it? So you can even put this in your house and it could be like a little highlight that you did a turkey painting for your Thanksgiving. So here's my turkey. I did it in watercolor yesterday. Okay, and turkey has a long neck, a big body full of feathers and these tall feathers in the back that we're going to decorate. Okay, and it has a little bit of blue around its face. It has that thing that hangs down from its neck. It's called a wattle, and an orange beak, orangish yellow, orange feet. Okay, and I put lots of grass underneath him. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for joining us. So before we start our painting session today, I just want to give a huge shout out to Capital Blue Cross Connect Health and Wellness Center for allowing us to do this program, because we have so much fun every week painting together and just doing fun things together. So thanks, Capital Blue. We're so happy to be here. And Julia, you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but you love to learn turkey art. That is awesome. Turkey art's fun. I have wild turkeys that live around me and they make the funniest noises. And they're just a really cool animal. So this would be a fun painting for us today. I am going to do the painting twice. So the first time I'm going to show you all the steps. I'll walk you through it. You can either sketch it along with me or do it with me the first time. And then the second time, I'm going to put the colors in and do all the steps again. So I want to make sure that you know all the steps before we turn off the video. So don't rush when you're doing these paintings, because I want you to take your time and really get creative with the art. And you can spend as much time as you need when we're all finished. So you'll know the steps because we'll do it twice. I recommend you do it in pencil first. I am going to do it in marker though, so you can see it. If I did it in pencil, you would not be able to see it that well. So I just have paper today. I'm just going to do it on paper, and I'm going to do it with a black marker, and you can just follow along in pencil. I have a whole palette of colors. So basically every color, brown and black and white and red and green and blue, and a little bit of white and some orange and yellow. So I have a whole palette of colors. You can use any art supplies you have, markers, crayons, colored pencils, paint if you have it. If you want to just use a pencil, that's fine too. If you want to just use a pen. I have a towel to wipe off my brushes. I have 3 paintbrushes, a big, a medium, and a small. Okay, this is the medium. So there's one smaller and one a little bigger. And a little bit of water in my cup, and that's all I have. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you the sample. Okay, here's the sample again. Okay. So we're going to do the head first, and I am going to hold the painting horizontally. So this way, the long way. It would work fine if you turn the paper this way also, whichever way you want. Okay, it will work fine either way, but I'm going to hold it horizontally today. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get started. And don't forget that I can't see you. I can just see your chat comments. So if you want to show me your art at the end and show me your creativity and what you did and how you did the background and how you decorated your turkey, I would love that. So if you want to share it with me, you can ask your parents first, and then you can share it with me at Roey Ebert Art. And I love seeing your paintings and drawings and everything you did. So I am on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, and then I can see your paintings that way. And I can share them with my friends at Capital Blue too, because they love seeing them. So we're going to get started. I have paper here, and I'm going to hold my paper horizontally. And this is the first time that I am doing the steps. I'll do it twice. So you can either sit back and just watch me, or you can follow along with scrap paper. Okay, for the first step, I'm going to do the turkey's head first. So right a little bit above the top, the middle of the paper, I am going to make a long kind of oval shape, just like that. Okay, that's going to be the top of his head. It's kind of like a long rainbow shape. Then I'm going to take his neck and do 2 lines like that vertically. It's going to really narrow down. Okay, and then I'm going to put the beak right about here. Okay, so this, do a rainbow shape and then the 2 lines and then a little beak. Okay, I am going to put a little mark right there. okay, because his face gets a little bit of blue coloring in it. So I'm going to show you, the eye is going to go right about here. Okay, eventually this head is all red. That part that we just put in is going to be blue. The beak's going to be yellow or orange, whatever you want to do. I am going to put a little bit of a wattle, that red thing that hangs down on the turkey. So it's just a curvy, curvy, wavy line. It's going to hang down from his neck. Okay, so that's his head. I am going to bring this line down just a little bit. Okay. Then I'm going to go to his body. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make a curved line. Right about there. We have to make it look like a turkey, right? We have to get it a little bigger in the body here. Okay, right now we just look like we have a bird shape for the head, but we need that big body in the back to make it look like a turkey. Okay, so there's gonna be a curved line under his body. And then it has a few little lumps in the back because turkeys are really big. Let me show you the sample again. A few little bumps there to make it look like it's really plump, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come up from right here, make a little bump. Hi, Avery. I'm glad you joined us, Avery. And then I'm gonna do a little bump again, just like that. And all those are gonna get filled with little feather marks eventually, okay? And then I'm gonna make a curved right to there, okay? These are my steps so far. We did the head, to the eye, which is gonna get a little bit of blue around it, the beak, the wattle, which is this part right here. We did a curved line under him. We did 2 bumps, okay, so we can like fatten him up a little bit. And then we're gonna start doing those feathers in the back of him. So what we're gonna do is from that first bump right there, we're gonna do a line up, up, all the way around. Keep doing these like rainbow shapes, these long rainbow shapes. Up, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around to there. Okay. Avery, we're drawing a turkey. We're doing a turkey, a wild turkey today, Avery. Okay, so, and then at the top here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a line all the way around that goes off your paper. That's okay too. Just like that. And then we're gonna double it. We're gonna do that line again. We're gonna paint that all in. Okay, and then we're going to add a big feather coming off here. And then we're going to add his feet. So it's just a line. We're going to paint these. Okay, a line. And then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line under each of his feet. And then I'm going to start drawing grass around him, up and down. And down, up and down. And the grass can go in front of his feathers too, if you want, to make him look like he's out in the wild. And then let's look at our sample here. What I did was after I painted this with brown, I went back and added a lot of little feather marks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the outline, and then with our pencils or our markers or our paint, we're going to come back into the body after we paint it brown, and we're going to put a whole bunch of little marks that look like that, little rainbows all over him, and fill this all in so he looks really, really full of feathers. It's going to have a dark brown color underneath. And then we're going to do a few colors for these feather marks. We're going to do some green. We're going to do some yellow. Okay. And then we'll put some feather marks here just to make them look a lot fluffier. Okay. And then we'll outline each of these sections. So they'll each get darker. Okay. So those are the steps of the turkey. We start with the head. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna start with the head. We're gonna do an oval shape, not an oval. No, not an oval, a rainbow shape up at the top. We're gonna do 2 lines that are kind of angled, so they're not straight down, okay, because his neck kind of sticks out like that. Then we're gonna do that curved line that comes around, okay, for his belly. Then we're gonna do those bumps in the back. I'm gonna show you. Here's 1 bump, here's 2 bumps, makes it look really plump, and then we'll start putting those feathers all the way around, okay? All right, is everyone ready to do it a second time? And I want you to look closely. There, I painted the brown on the body, and then I put some green in here and some yellow, and I put some yellow and orange in the feathers, and I put some brown and white all the way around. So you can really have a lot of fun with all the colors you can use today. You can change the colors too. You can use whatever colors you want for your turkey. If you want to make these feathers different colors, you of course can do that. You don't have to do yellow and orange, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my marker down and I'm gonna do the steps again. So this time you can use color if you want, whatever color you want. Drop my papers. So if you want to start with just doing it in pencil first, that's fine. You can just sketch it in pencil and then come back and put the color in later. That's fine. I'm gonna do it in paint so that you can see it. So the paint color that I'm gonna use is I'm gonna use a little bit of, how about I use some brown today to do the whole outline of the turkey again so that you can see it. And then what I'm gonna do is start filling in the colors. Okay, so I am going to use a brush, a paintbrush, a medium-sized brush. So it's about this big, in case you're painting with me. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure it's all dried off. I'm just gonna put the bristles all together. I'm gonna take my paint paper. And what I'm gonna do is, let me show you my paint palette. Okay, there's brown and black, which I'll use at the end. I'll use that for the little eye. I will use that to outline things. And I'll use it for a little bit of shading. So the black you won't need till the end. I'm gonna use brown. I have white right there. I have pink, because I thought it'd be fun to add some pink to my turkey, because I can just brighten up the feathers a little bit. I have orange, and I have yellow, and I have red for the head. I have blue for the head. I have a little bit of, what else did I miss? A little bit of white, okay? And some green too, green for the grass. Okay, so I'm gonna take a dip in the brown, just a tiny bit of paint. You don't need too much. And you can just do this in pencil first if you want. I am going to hold my paper horizontally, and I'm gonna start with the head, okay? So the head, if you remember, just gonna start with that rainbow shape for the head, okay? And the turkey, you can even make the top of the rainbow just a little bit square instead of round if you want. Okay, that's the top of his head. His neck, if you look, his neck kind of curves out just a little bit. So the next 2 lines we're gonna curve it just a little bit. Okay. So I have the top of my turkey head, sorry. And I'm just gonna curve the lines just a little bit. Okay, just curve it just a little bit. Before I add the beak or the part of the face that's blue, I think I'm gonna switch my paintbrush. My paintbrush is too big for this, so I'm gonna switch to a tiny paintbrush. And I'm gonna take a dip in the brown, and the brown's gonna act like shading. So once I start adding my colors, I will just blend it into the brown. So the next step is I'm gonna put a beak on. So the beak, really tiny, not too big, okay? Tiny beak, right there. Got it? Okay, we have the head shape. I just made it a little bit square at the top. I made a rainbow shape right here, square rainbow. I took the neck and made it a little bit curved, because the turkey neck's a little bit curved because they're always like this, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I am going to, right by the beak, I am going to put a little section that looks like this. And it's funny, when we go to paint this, let me show you. We go to paint this yesterday when I painted it. I had red here, and then I had blue here, and it kind of looked like a little bit like Captain America. It looked like he had like a mask on with the red and the blue, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize the turkey had the blue like right there around their eyes. So I have red. I'm going to paint this red. I'm going to paint this blue, and I'm going to paint the beak yellow. So right now we have the head shape in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on his body. So I'm going to take a dip in my paint. I'm sticking with my small brush. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that curved line under his belly, just like that. All right. Make sure you have enough room to put those feathers on. I think I should have moved my turkey over a little bit so I had more room, right? I want to make sure I have enough room in there. Let's put a line right under his neck, just like that. Just to remind us that this part's going to be red and the rest is going to be brown and green and yellow. So we want to kind of change it. Okay. I am going to put 2 bumps. They're just going to be like little rainbow shapes right here. So we can make him have lots of feathers. Okay. 2 bumps on his back. I am going to take that last bump and join it to this one. Right like that. And then what I'm going to do next is I am going to start adding all those feathers around him that you see on a turkey when he gets really big and puts all his feathers out. Okay. So I'm going to start right here, right behind his neck. And I'm going to do long rainbow shapes. I like using the rainbow shape for a lot of things. It seems like the rainbow shapes in a lot of our art, doesn't it? Long rainbows all the way around. Now look, if you, for some reason, if your feathers go off the paper, no big deal. Just pretend there's more paper here. Don't try to squeeze the end of the rainbow in. Just kind of pretend that it's still going out. See how I left the end off? And the next one will go right off the paper too. Just like that. Lots of feathers. I'll go all the way to right about here with my feathers. Okay, this is just the outline. Gonna put his tail feather. It's like a nice long almond shape, a tail feather right there. Okay, right there. And then I am going to take my paintbrush and go all around the top. Can you see that? All around the top of those rainbow shaped feathers we made. Just like that. And I'm going to double that line because a little bit of brown and white goes in there. Just like that. My turkey looks like he's floating, so I have to put some feet on him. Now I'm going to do it in brown with my small brush, and then I'm going to go over it with some orange and yellow eventually. Okay, so I'm going to put one turkey leg right here. Going to have his feet, three little things, 3 little toes, and one right here. Okay. I'm going to put a line under those feet. Just like that, just for a little bit of shadow. Put the line all the way across. And then I'm going to come back and do grass, some wild grass, okay, with like lots of green. But for right now, I'm just going to put a few lines. And what happens is this brown acts like shadowing then. So the green will go on top of it. Okay. Okay, so now we have our turkey shape in, and what we want to do next is we really want to put some color in. So I am going to put my small paintbrush down, or actually I'm going to just wash it off. I feel comfortable using this with, oh, you know what I forgot, you guys? I forgot the wattle under his neck. That's really important, isn't it? All right, so right under his neck, do you guys notice that? I'm sure you did. I'm just going to do that little wattle shape right there, and that's going to be painted red. So I'm going to try to use 2 different reds here. One red for the neck's just going to be bright red. And then maybe when I get to his wattle, I'll just make it orange and red mixed together. Just so it's a little bit different so you can tell the difference. So my paintbrush is all cleaned off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a dip in the red paint. If you're using other kinds of art supplies like watercolors or markers or crayons, you're going to switch to a red crayon. Okay, so I'm going to take a dip in the red and I am going to paint my turkey head in. What I'm going to skip is I'm going to skip that section right around his eye, which is going to be blue, and I'm going to skip the beak because the beak is going to be red. Okay, so I'm going to paint this all in red, and this is just bright red. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go over the brown paint that I used to make the turkey shape. Okay, it just acts like shadowing now. So you can kind of see it, but not really because it's blending in with the red paint. Okay, does everyone see that? Okay, it's all painted in red. We'll just put some more right there. Oops, more there, more there. And because I have red on my paintbrush, I'm gonna go right to the wattle because I want to use red in all the places first. I am going to mix the red that's on my paintbrush with a little bit of orange. So I have a little bit of orange on my plate. Red and orange mixed together, it'll just make it a warmer orange. So it'll look a little different, just a little different. See how it's just like one shade different? This one's a little bit oranger, an orangey red. Okay, so I like to go color to color. If I have a paintbrush, if I have a color on my paintbrush, I'll just stick with that for a little bit. I don't really need red though for the rest of my turkey. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wash off the red and I'm gonna dry it off. A little cup of water. Make sure it's dry though, because you don't want it to drip. Okay, I dropped my towel on the floor, so I'm gonna get it. Okay. And what I'm gonna do next is I am going to paint right here with blue. A little bit of blue, tiny brush. Take your time, no rush. And I'm going to paint blue. Later, I'll put the little eyeball in. I don't need that right now. We'll do it in black later. Right? Doesn't it look like he has a disguise on? Right? Looks like a superhero turkey. Looks so cool. Okay, but later he's gonna get like a little eyeball right there. And I'm gonna use the bottom of my paintbrush later when I use the black. Okay, I'll use the bottom, not the bristles. I'm going to really make sure I wash this brush off and dry it off. And then I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in the beak. If you want to do yellow and orange mixed together, that makes a really cool color. I love it. Just be careful that you don't get it into the blue. If your blue's still wet, just wait till that dries because blue and yellow make green. And I don't think you want a green beak. So just wait until it dries and then you can put that in. Okay, now I have yellow on my paintbrush. I use yellow and orange in a lot of the turkey feathers. So I am going to brush, because I like to go color to color, I'm going to brush some yellow and some orange into the feathers first before I do the brown. So I'm just going to stick with this color. I also put yellow and orange on the feet. So we are just going to mix a little bit of yellow and orange together. And I am going to put a little bit of yellow and orange in each of those long feathers. Okay. Now you can wait till your brown's dry. If it's still wet, mine's still a little wet. If you want to change the colors for the feathers, if you don't want them to be yellow and orange, you can change the colors. I've seen some really colorful turkey drawings. Okay, so you're the artist, so make sure that you are painting your turkey the way you want it to be painted. Get creative with it. Okay, yellow and orange. This is pretty bright, this yellow. Okay, yellow and orange. So all those rainbow shaped feathers is where I put the yellow and orange. And then also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of yellow and orange here on that one big bump that we made. And I'll put some yellow and orange. See how I'm just brushing it in there? Because I want it to look like there's a lot of texture so that we can see that it has a lot of feathers, okay? So I'm just brushing it in there, yellow and orange. And then I'll put brown on it in a little bit. Okay, so I put yellow in the beak, and then I mixed yellow and orange, and I put it in each of these feather shapes. And I put yellow and orange in here in the body. I'm also going to put yellow or yellow and orange mixed together on the feet. So my brown is dry. You might want to wait till your brown's dry. And I will put some yellowish orange on the feet, right like that. I'm going to do the feet before the brown feathers because I want those feathers to kind of come on top of those feet. All right, what I'm going to do is I am going to wash off my paintbrush and dry it off really well. I would love to see your turkeys when you're done, you guys. I bet you're being really creative with these. Can't wait to see how you do it. Okay, what I'm going to do, I am going to paint brown inside my turkey body here. My yellow and orange is still wet. That's okay. But what I'm going to do is it's a couple of steps. So this is the first layer of the brown. Okay, first layer of the brown. Going to do little brush strokes. I'm not going to blend it all together. I want it to look like I can see the brush strokes. Can you see the brush strokes on there? Sometimes we blend it all together so it's nice and smooth. Not today. We want it to look like there's feathers. Look at the top. I'm going to go over the lines we made, those two bumps that we made. I'll go over those lines with tiny brush strokes. See that? So it looks like feathers. So our first step on the turkey body was to put some yellow and orange in there. Our second step is to fill all the extra empty spaces with brown brush strokes. Okay, just like that. Couple steps to painting the feathers. I'm also going to put some brown in this tail feather right here. Little brush strokes. You want to be able to see the brush strokes. Okay. And you can have it come down over the feet a little bit. Good. Are you guys all good? We are going to go up and we're going to use the brown up here, the top of our feathers. So I'm going to dip in the brown again. And I am going to put tiny feather marks, tiny little brush strokes all around. I'm going to even do it on the outside here. All around, tiny brush strokes, tiny feather marks, tiny marker lines if you're doing marker lines, okay? You're doing pen lines, tiny brush strokes all around. Keep doing it, keep doing it. You're doing good. Making this nice plump turkey. There you go. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of brown to the top. So I am going to skip a little bit. There's a little bit of white feather on the top of a turkey, and then there's brown again. So I'm going to put some brown up top here, but I'll skip a little bit so there's some white sticking out. All the way around. And then down here, remember it came all the way down here. That's just our first step for the feathers because we really want to make sure that it's blended. Okay, so the way we usually blend it is we put a little bit of white on it. So I'm going to go back with a second step and I'm going to put a little bit of white on top of my brown. You can either wait till your brown is completely dry and put a little bit of brown and white mixed together, or you can do it while your brown's wet and it'll blend for you. But I just noticed that on my turkey, my original, I added a little bit of green into some of his feathers too. So let's do that. Let's add a little bit of green before we add the white. Okay, so I am gonna wipe off my brush here. I am going to dip in the green. Now my green is really bright. So hopefully you can see it. Turkeys have so many beautiful colors. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of green right by the yellow. Just blend that in. You can even put it on top of the brown. It'll make it a darker green. Just a little bit of green in there. So we have green and we have yellow. We have yellow mixed with orange in there. A whole bunch of colors in there on our turkey's feathers, okay? I think there might even be some blue in the turkey, green and blue. You can add whatever colors you want to make it, you know, fun and colorful. Really have fun with it. You can make a really beautiful turkey painting today. I'm going to now, because my brown is still wet, so I want to get the brown and the white blended to make it look like there's a lot of texture and a lot of feathers on there. So I am going to take those brush strokes again and just go over what I did. And remember, I said my brown is still pretty wet in some spots. Now I don't want my turkey to look white. I want it to look like a light brown. So if your brown has dried, mine's really bright right now because I want you to be able to see it, what I'm doing. If your brown has dried, what you can do is you can mix a little bit of the brown and white together and you will get a light brown color, which I think you'll really like for your turkey. Mine is really bright white so you can see what I'm doing. But you're just gonna do a second layer and do all those little texture marks. Or remember when we did our sample, you could always do like little rainbow marks like that all over. Okay, and if your brown is still wet, rainbow marks all over, and they can overlap each other. You see how we're fluffing our turkey up? We are fluffing him up, making him really full of feathers just with our brush strokes. Okay, lots of rainbow colors. Lots of rainbow shapes, actually, not really rainbow colors, right? Rainbow shapes in here. Really fluff them up. Still just have white on my paintbrush. I'll come up here and I'm gonna start doing those little rainbow marks up here, all the way at the top. Really fluff this guy up. He really has a lot of feathers. Fluff it up, fluff it up. I am using white because my brown is still wet and I want it to look like the brown and the white are blending together. And then I will also outline each of those yellow feathers that we made. Outline each of those. I'm going to show you my sample again because I outlined in black on that one so that you can see what it looked like if you want to do black. I'm going to really fluff them up and then we're going to do some feathers up here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just paint a little bit of white in here. White, there's a little bit of white at the top. And then I'll do those rainbow feather shapes all the way at the top. And hopefully you have more room on your paper than I do. Really get them fluffy, okay? And then I'm gonna go back to his head because all this has a lot of texture, doesn't it? And you can do a couple layers. You don't have to just do 2 layers. You don't have to just do the brown and the yellow and then go back and do like light brown. You can do a couple different layers. The more layers you do, the fluffier he gets. So what I'm gonna do next is I am just gonna put some little tiny texture marks on my turkey's head. Make sure your red is dry though, or it is going to turn pink for you. Now you don't have to do this in white if you don't want, okay? You can do it, I did it yesterday in black. So if you see, I did all black outlining and I did little tiny black dots on his head, tiny black dots. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but this was outlined with black. And then after I did that, I went back and added a 3rd layer. So just like we're doing the white today, if you want to go back over it and do brown rainbow marks, it just keeps blending and blending. Okay, and it looks like fluffier and fluffier. So you just, when you like it, you want to stop though. You don't want to ruin what you've made. Okay, so you're going to keep doing it until you like it. And then if the white on your turkey's head is too bright, you can always go back over it when the red is dry. Okay, so my red is dry. And just dab your paintbrush. And some of that white texture will make it look really shaded for you, okay? Okay, next what I'm gonna do is I am going to wash off my brush and dry it off. I am going to take the bottom of the paintbrush, I'm gonna dip it in my black, and I am going to put a tiny dot for the eye right there. I think that using the bottom of the paintbrush is a little bit easier for me than using the brush. Tiny dot for the eye. My paintbrush is all wiped off and dried off, and then I'm going to start adding some wild grass down here for the turkey to be in. Lines up with green, and maybe I'll mix the green and the yellow or the green and the blue. Okay, I want to put it around his feet, just so it looks like he is walking in the grass. The turkeys here around me are in the woods. So they're always in the woods. And I really want to fill this whole background with grass. And your brush strokes are going to go up, up, up. And you can even have some like come on the turkey just a little bit. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, you can either leave it like this, leave it just like that, or I always like to show you what it looks like if you outline it, because that's a whole different look. So sometimes when you outline it, it looks really whimsical, really bold, or maybe you just want to leave it more quiet and you just want it to be like quieter colors and you don't want it really bold with the black outline. So let me show you on mine what it would look like if you outlined yours with a dark color. So what I'll do is I'll start from the top. I'll do all those steps again that we did. Do the beak, and I'm just having my small paintbrush. I'm just holding it. See how it's getting really, really bold? It's kind of cool, right? I like it. And then we are going to go around the body, and I'll go up here, and I'll go around all those. There's a feather right here. Are you liking it? Do you like the outline? So once you get all that work in, all that feather work, you can decide whether you want to outline it. I don't outline every single feather. I just outline the big ones. Okay, and then I'll go up to the top. And remember we put that white line there. I'll go around here. And then I will go around the very top. Oh, goes off my paper. Just like that. Down here, I will outline the feet really lightly. Okay, and then I can outline some of these feathers. Just some, not all. Because it looks cool because there's all different layers. Okay. Julia, you're done. I'd love to see it if you get a chance to show me. Ask your mom. I can't wait to see how you did with your turkey. Thanks for joining me, Julia. But next week, what we are doing, and I'm pretty sure I'll put it on my Facebook page, it's a reindeer selfie. So we're going to do a picture of a reindeer, and he's going to be really close to the camera, and it'll be like a reindeer selfie. So it'll be a really fun one for the start of December. What do you think? Really colorful, really fun. Reindeer are so awesome. So we will do a reindeer. Does anyone else look like me and have paint all over them? We'll do a reindeer selfie painting. So it'll be really, really fun for us to do. Don't forget to sign your paintings. Okay, so what you want to do is you can take a pen or a pencil and then just sign your name in the corner once it's all dry. And then they know who the artist is. And I think you should share your talents with someone. I think you should show someone how to do a turkey painting now that you know how to do it, and really have fun making a fluffy turkey and changing all the colors and adding all the texture, because you guys are great artists. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great night. And thanks Capital Blue Cross Connect for having us do this program. And I hope to see you all next week where we do our reindeer selfie. All right, bye everyone.